What's up, Internet? Back again with another edition of what the hell is going on in my fish room. As you can tell from the opening shot here, I have a new camera. I got myself a GoPro so I can shoot the overall big shots that I need. Just don't have enough cameras to shoot most of the stuff, so added another tool to the repertoire, and they're down to $100, so seemed like a reasonable purchase at this point. From the last video that I posted, I mentioned that my work schedule was going to get crazy, and as a matter of fact, it did. And then personal life has been a little bit crazy, but I've been shooting time lapses of the rescape on the 240. I've been getting pretty aggressive with pulling stuff out and getting things together to get this tank back into shape for how I want it to go for the next couple months. You can tell, man, the corner of this tank was just jam-packed full of stuff. It's kind of funny at times when I realize that this is a 240-gallon tank, so it's basically like, 4 60-gallon tanks, and I got a lot of it just jammed full of stuff. And as I go through a rescape, I realize like just how many pieces of driftwood and all sorts of madness I got going on in here, and extra plants and things that are overgrown. I pulled out a lot of the stuff that wasn't going to be having a home or is going to be having a home later. Things are a little bit better so far. Of course, the tank looks like shit right now because everything has been trimmed. But I'm pretty stoked as far as things are going here with rescaping this tank. Currently, the paludarium looks like hell because it's got a ton of stuff floating in it. That's where I'm holding a lot of the extra driftwood and everything, so stuff doesn't dry out completely, which is something I like to avoid, and has happened to me in the past when I've started a project and had to set things aside, and then had things like driftwood completely dry back out again and then float, which is nonsense, personally. As far as the fish room is coming along, it's pretty much a hot mess in there at all times. No matter how much, it doesn't seem to really matter how much I clean in there, but things are slowly coming together, bit by bit by bit. Pretty soon we'll have all of the tanks up and running, and I'll be doing the videos on plumbing all of the tanks together into one big system, showing you guys the how the drain and refill system works. I'm actually probably doing the plumbing tomorrow, so I'll be making that video and getting it out sometime before I head out of town. Headed out of town next weekend to go to Missouri for a what do you call it? It's one of those mud runs, and it's for a charity for the Wounded Warrior Project, which I think will be a lot of fun to get out of town for a little while. Never been to Missouri, so I'm going to check it out, see what it's all about. Hopefully I don't get shot by any cops or anything like that. I doubt that anything like that will be going on, but Anyhow, back to the aquarium stuff. So hopefully I'll have the plumbing and the plumbing video up before I head out of town. Most likely, if I get everything shot tomorrow, I'll be able to process and edit the video and put all that together and explain some of the stuffs, the ins and outs, and a few things to save you guys some money and some headaches if you're looking to go that route and have a more automated system. But otherwise, I don't really have any overall shots of the tank yet. But like I said, things are progressing pretty well. But you can see that there are a few things to notice from like how I do my rescaping and replanting and stuff like that. A lot of people ask me how I do it. I tend to use tongs, and then I use just some heavy duty scissors. If there are any big plants that I pull out, you can see that I just pull those out with my fingers, mainly because tongs, planting tongs and things like that, I can't really get a very good grasp on what I'm yanking out. Typically, I can dig my fingers down in and feel which roots I'm pulling on, and whether or not I'm going to be yanking out a bunch of other stuff all at the same time. So I use a mix of tongs and my hands, which is definitely not good on the back, leaning all the way over into the tank all the time. But it's kind of the best that I can. It's kind of the best way that I've worked out to be able to not completely cloud out the tank into a total mess, and still get the plants out that I want and get them relocated to a new spot. Yeah, you can see here on the wide shot how much of a mess the paludarium is. Here I am just using my hands to pull and separate plants out. The stargrass has grown into the glosso, so I need to separate those two from each other and get the stargrass back to where I want it. I don't want it growing all the way up to the front like it has been. And it can be kind of a tedious little task to keep everything where you want it to go. It's kind of funny. You can see on the time lapse everything waving around. That was pretty smooth camera action there for me. Dig it. But you can also see how kind of prolific the colony of shrimp has gotten. They're just everywhere in the tank. They're everywhere in the sump. They're all over the place. They're constantly breeding, doing exactly what I wanted, which took a considerable more amount of time than I thought. And I think overall it's been about 1.5 years since I started breeding the shrimp and whatnot. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with the quality of shrimp that are coming out. I don't have to cull that many. Go ahead and click on the subscribe button. And yeah, that's the video for this week. Alright, later.